Hey, howdy, Mako. Mako. I forgot to clarify that part last time. Gonna try something different. Mako. Okay. That's what I assumed. Yeah, sorry, no visuals yet. I'm trying something different today. I've got to get licenses in the chat. All right, there is the license to the tutorial we're going to be doing today. And then also going to throw one more in. Do the Pycharm download, because this is the IDE we're going to be using. All right. All right. I think I've got everything set up. How are you doing today, though? Chilling? Right. Sounds official. Yeah, well, less video game and more I don't know, but I've been wanting to try my hand at like teaching coding. So oh, there we go. That helps. And oh, I see why he broke that off now. Yeah, oh, that just pops right off of there. There we go. Yeah, trying something just slightly different. I wanted to try my hand at maybe teaching people some programming concepts, because I do freelance web development. So I primarily know JavaScript, TypeScript, taught myself some C++, and then trying to learn a new programming language. I've been trying to keep myself to like one a year. So C++ was my last one. And then somebody told me, or I saw an interview, it was Lex Friedman with the Primeagen, and they were talking about Python, and Primeagen said, he was like, oh, I don't like Python because it's all just under the hood, it's all just C. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I know C++, and I do really want to learn C. I would like to go back and learn. I mean, I know basically the syntax, it's just like without classes, but I would like to go back and like learn some more of the lower level languages. But I figured I would do kind of the same thing that I did where I learned like JavaScript was my first programming language. So I'm starting with a high level language and I'm going to work my way down to C. So this tutorial is an official one from the Jetbrains Academy, Jetbrains SRO. This is like a Python specific IDE. I put the download in the chat, as well as the license, the MIT license. This is just like a free, anybody can download this and use this. You would be allowed to use the code in a project if you wanted to, but it really doesn't, there's none of that. None of the code in here is like worth anything, but yeah, so I just figured today we will do something a little different. I guess one thing I would like to do, since I don't have any game audio today, is I might just turn on a little soft jazz for myself. let's see. Smooth Jazz Chill playlist on Spotify. Let's do that. And okay. And can't hear that, right? Okay, perfect. Had to double check and make sure that I'm not gonna get DMC'd. Don't want a DMCA just from being silly and accidentally putting my my Spotify sound through. If anybody else would like extra sound, I do jazz when I learn programming, so this is going to be a wonderful course today that we're going to do, though. This is an introductory course. If you don't know anything at all about coding, anything about programming, anything about computer science, this is going to be a great course for you. This needs no introductions, and we'll just kind of start from here. Welcome to the basics of Python programming. Please join the chat on Discord. You guys can use the link if you download the IDE. Oh, I guess one more link. That's what I forgot. I wanted to make a link to the actual... Here is the course. There we go. And there's the course link. So you guys can go download the IDE. This is an all-in IDE, an integrated development environment. This is basically just a text editor for programming. So if you ever hear the term IDE, integrated development environment, you'll also hear that for like things like the Unity game engine. The Unity game engine has an IDE that you work inside of. That's an integrated development environment. You can write code and do the graphics all inside of one program. So there's first little bit of terminology we're going to give you guys there. Realizing that if you were to try to click this link, you can't click the page. There's no link for this, and I can't copy that one into the chat. So if you guys would like to join their Discord as well, connect with fellow students. But all right, why won't that won't deselect there? It's a little bit of a goofy IDE. I have noticed some issues with it. There we go. All right, that's all right. So why do we want to learn Python? It is one of the most popular programming languages in the world, used extensively in data science, machine learning, which is what ML stands for, and AI, artificial intelligence. Python is the fastest growing major programming language. It is a perfect starting point for getting acquainted with programming. Python is easy to read, write, and learn. I can attest to that. It is much easier to read, write, and learn than most other programming languages. And with Python, you don't get stuck on simple beginner tasks. There's like numerous forms. It does have a very big environment. The documentation is really well written. And yeah, a wonderful open source community with wonderful packages that'll help you stay motivated. So today, the aim of this course is we're going to just learn and understand and make use of basic programming concepts. We're going to learn about variables. We're going to learn about functions. We're going to learn about data structures. We're going to learn about classes. We're going to learn about loops, conditional loops, if loops, for loops. We're going to learn about all of our different loops. You're going to learn how to read Python code. Python code is very, very legible. I can actually take that away. So right over here, this is a little function I made and wrote that when we run, we'll say hello Twitch in the console down here. The one's other small point that I don't think they go into too much. They might talk about the console. Your console down here is going to be one of your best friends. This is your best friend and your worst enemy all at the same time. This is where you find your errors. This is where you get frustrated at your code, but this is also where it tells you what's wrong with your code and how you can fix it. So we're going to learn how to write Python code. For instance, this whole little bit right here that I wrote prior to the stream, you guys will learn how to write that, what all of that means, what that def means, what those parentheses mean, what the colon means, why we have it, you know, up here and down here, how that runs it. We're going to learn all of that stuff. We're going to learn about working with Python modules and packages, which we will go into a lot more detail much later on. Modules and packages are much better explained once you have a better kind of grasp of what a Python file looks like. And continue learning with other courses. There are other courses. If you follow that link to the Jetbrains Academy, they have a ton of other ones. If you're a little bit more familiar with programming, they have more advanced ones. If you're familiar with Python as well, they have some for like machine learning 101, fun stuff like that. Depending on how this goes, might actually do some more of those myself. They have a wonderful little reinforcement one about building a maze, and I think that would be a very fun one to do. So, as I said previously, and they say here, any prerequisites, you don't need them. You don't need any experience in programming or Python to do what we're about to do. So we'll teach you now how to just navigate around your editor, the IDE. So this will help you get accumulated with the Jetbrains Academy plugin and IDE. If you followed all the downloads and course links, everything very self-explanatory. They did a great job of teaching you how to download and get the courses integrated. But right from here, so we've got our three main views, basically. We've got our tasks here. This is our task description, as it says here, right over here. This is our main text editor. This is where we can write code, as in, say, the same function that I wrote before. And this is where, right, it's not hello world, it's hello Twitch. And YouTube, if anybody from YouTube comes in. Autocomplete that, and this now would be executable code that we've written. All right there, that's all the editor. That's your main workspace. And then on the left-hand side here, this is just your course overview. This is generally, if you're working in an IDE as like VS Code or Visual Studio, Microsoft's Visual Studio, or just regular like Pycharm when you're working in your own project for, say, this left side where this is the course view, that's also normally just your file structure. It also kind of operates the same as a file structure. If you click on all these down arrows, you can see all these different main.py, hello world.py, comments.py, all of these different Python files under each of these little hats, these little graduation hats. Each of those are different files. You could think of those as different files. You could think of those as the little hats, as different folders or directories. And even these larger four squared ones, like where it says introduction here or variables, you can think of those just another higher level folder or directory, as well as the introduction to Python. This is how it would look, say, if you had, for some reason, just a large project where you had many different folders or directories, where you had Python files that you wanted to keep organized. You know, that would be extremely tedious to me, but my file structuring is a little different. than a lot of others. So you guys will see as we go through, these gray hats will turn green. I forgot to reset the course last night as I was navigating around and setting up all the stream stuff. So here we go. Now that we've taken a look at the IDE, the course view, already explained the course view for you guys. The editor, they go into a little bit more description. Yes, your playground, as they call it. This is where you will actually write code. You also, at the top here, have your run up in your top right-hand corner, or Control F5, and that will run your code. So I hit Control F5 and it ran my Hello Twitch from earlier. I think there we go. It should have, that's what it should have done. So you do have just next to the run, selecting your current file. That first main.py can be a little confusing in these first couple ones because they're all named main.py, but it'll get a little bit better as we get down into some of these variable definitions, undefined variables. They're all different file names. You'll know which file you're executing or running the code from and what the result is that you're getting down in the console. The task description, I feel like is very, very simple on the right-hand side here. Read your instructions. I'll be reading most of the instructions out loud for everybody, but the task description provides learning and reading materials. They say for quizzes, sometimes there are quizzes. This one does not have any quizzes, so they want you to fill out a brief form if you'd like to. I say no. Not taking my personal information. So, here we are. Let's do our first program. Traditionally, the first program you write in any programming language is Hello World. That is very true. The first thing I ever wrote was Hello World. And I'm going to introduce myself to you guys. And you guys can introduce yourselves to the computer as well. To run this script, you can right-click anywhere on the editor. I actually forgot about that. And run this. It's also Control-Shift-F10 is a shortcut. And then there's also, like I said, the top of the one, I like to keep it selected on current file. This should run the current file right now. Hello world, my name is Eminem. Would the real Slim Shady please stand up? So here we go. And then, oh yes, Jetbrains Academy on Hyperskill. There's a Hyperskill. It's another thing like Udemy or Khan Academy, one of those online learning areas. I personally have not used them, so I won't plug either way, to be honest, because I'm not sure whether or not it's a good product. I believe it's paid, so probably good. If it's paid, a lot of the JetBrains stuff is paid for, and a lot of this stuff is very, very good. And there are many reasons for the JetBrains Academy and doing a bunch of the other ones. A lot of these projects do flow into each other. They have different difficulty levels. But past all that, let's just learn what we're getting our hands on today. AI-powered keyword descriptions. Everything's got AI inside the text editors these days, but we're not going to be messing with any artificial intelligence. We are going to handwrite our code. It is the best way for you to learn how to do it. It'll get you in the habit of typing it. It will help reinforce the concepts. It's like reading out loud or like writing your notes down from a book. Helps to reinforce the learning. So I do highly recommend anybody who's following along at home. You do also fully type out these things. Do not cheat yourself. I will also show you guys something about the tab key here soon to auto-complete certain things. That's not necessarily AI. They call it IntelliSense. That's been around for a while. VS Code has it. I use it these days it can be helpful. I recommend when you're learning how to program to not even use IntelliSense. Type everything all the way. All right. So the first thing we're going to learn about is comments. Comments in Python start with the hash character, or the pound symbol if you're an old fart like myself. And a single space. They extend to the end of the physical line. You can use Control-K or Control-C to comment or uncomment an entire line using the Pycharm editor. So that is one, let's see, Control-K, Control-C, right. Well, that reminds me, when I set mine up, I did set mine up to my VS Code shortcuts. So if you're using Pycharm out of the box, these shortcuts, a lot of these Pycharm shortcuts should work for you. I might not be able to show a lot of them off because my settings are set to the same as my VS Code editor, and I'm not sure that I actually know that command. So that's something we can look up later together. The best way to do it, though, you can also always, if you want to just make a comment out an entire line, you can go to the very beginning of the line. You can put a hash character or a pound symbol there. You can space that. You can even, you know, they say it has the single space. A lot of these things are syntax things, make your code look prettier. Obviously, as you can see, the code would compile either way without, let's go ahead and comment out all the lines. So the code runs just fine, whether or not there's that single space there. Specifically for comments. This is not the case with all of Python. Python is very interesting with the syntax. Coming from JavaScript, I was used to this is not a comment. As you can see there, so you get a little error when trying to indent, and if you hover over statement expected found in indent. So Python is an indented language. I came from something that had brackets to indicate where code blocks lived. We'll talk about code blocks a little bit later after we get through like variables and stuff. But let's go ahead and continue on with the reading. So, always make a priority keeping comments up to date when code changes. Comments contradict the code, or worse than no comments at all. So, commenting generally used to just kind of let people know, so the following line should be commented. Or you could, for instance, make a comment like, this function says hello to the Twitch chat. And then from here, we could define our function. So comments generally used for, oh, hey, buddy. Yeah. Yeah. Coding stream. Just doing, a tutorial, reinforcing my learning of the Python syntax, as well as, this is like a really good introductory for beginners, so if nobody knows anything about programming. You're on a Sando break right now? What's a Sando break? Like a Lando break? Or a Rando break? Oh, gotcha. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's not a raid, huh? Just munching down. You're going for a minute today, huh? I'm going to write a function for you. I get grammar errors for your name. They say that's a typo. Nice. Yeah, I figured just nothing till like the afternoon. Why didn't that, Oh, yeah, there we go. Indent errors, man. Oh, yeah, I'm really excited. I'm gonna start doing like a bunch of my channel points stuff. Oh, yeah, I've thought about that, like a game that Twitch chat can play, because I've wondered like how people make those apps, and I've wanted to look into that, and yeah, like design a whole game, like a personal game for like Twitch. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I didn't want you to debug. There we go. There's your line. Right here. Oh, yeah, shoot. Console troubles. I didn't think about that. Give me 1 second. I guess I'm best over here. I'm reading most of the other stuff out loud. I didn't think about where the console line is. There we go. I wrote a function for you and executed it, and that's what it says. I'm going for it. Yo, thanks, man. Yeah, yeah, DBZ chat game would be sick. My favorite was that it gave me an error, like a syntax error when I typed out your name. They're like, that's not a word. Because they have like built-in dictionaries into the JetBrains IDEs are like really smart. These ones are usually paid for. Pychram is one of their free ones, but these are like expensive. So like, as much as I do appreciate all the fun, fancy bells and whistles, VS Code is free. VS Code is great to learn coding with. So, like they say, comments should be complete sentences, capitalize the first word, like, you know, standard English. Try to keep your comments looking good, keep them clean, keep them readable. Comments are supposed to be just regular human English that's between you, the person writing the program, and whoever, maybe a colleague or the end user if you're putting it up on GitHub or something like that. You always want to make sure comments are really well written, even for yourself. I have gone back to coding projects where I didn't leave myself all that great of comments, and not fun. Not fun to try to debug your own work when you have comments that are just like, well, you know what this function does, and then you come back to it and you're like, really? I left a comment telling myself that I knew what this was going to do, and I forgot what it does. Using inline comments sparingly, so they an inline comment where here we go. Yeah, they just say it after that. Yeah, use inline comment sparingly. An inline comment is a comment on the same line as the statement. Comment example here. So this is an example of an inline comment. We'll even we'll go over. Whoa. You guys will see how bad I am at typing today too. Inline comment example here. So that is an example of an inline comment. Inline comments should be separated by at least 2 spaces. So syntactically, they say there. That's a double space. At least 2 away from the statement. Proper commenting. They do have style guides for Python code. You can go to python.org. They do have style guides to help you kind of show you what Python's style is supposed to be. As you kind of go through this tutorial, you'll get the hang of it. This editor as well will kind of give you little green underlined squigglies, the same grammar squigglies that you would get in a program like Microsoft Word. You can hover over that and it'll bring you a little box. For instance, like I said, when I said, so we'll say that, right? And pass, just so we don't get any errors. There we go. There we go. No other errors on that function. Pass is a null operation. Don't worry about pass. We'll talk about that later. Just to show you so you can get a green squiggly, you'll see something like, oh, typo, or this would be the same kind of thing that you would get if you more than likely had some small syntax errors that didn't break the code, but weren't according to the style guide. If you do have something that breaks the code and is not like just a style guide issue, it will be a red line, like you would also get in Microsoft Word for, I think those are spell check words, right? In Microsoft Word. It's been a long time since I've typed any programs in there. I use my text editing in VS Code. But here you can see, now it's trying to go over the pass statement. But there we go. Statement expected dent. So there is indenting. Again, we'll talk about that soon. But you can cause full-on errors. Code just won't run if the indentation is wrong. So let's go ahead and in here, in the code editor, comment the line with the print statement that says it should not be printed. This one here at the bottom, this line should not be printed. We'll want to go to the very front of that line. We'll add a hash character and the space to make it look pretty. Do have one good example up here as well. You can see all these other ones are commented out. They have an inline comment next to a regular comment here at the very top. Things you can do. Oh, hello. I think you're the first person that's ever showed up from YouTube chat. Icon. How you doing? We're learning some programming today. Here's another example. Inside of the print statement, if you use a hash character inside of a print statement, you can see this doesn't comment. This code would get executed. So if we run this code here, you can see you get that hash character. This is not a comment. That's that line 4 right there printing out. All the rest of these have comments. Now we can check our work. Why is that incorrect? Let's delete the space there. It looks like length of the output does not seem right. So this is interesting. Oh, about 2 years. I started, I do freelance web development, so I know JavaScript, TypeScript primarily, taught myself C#, and then I'm learning Python and wanted to just kind of stream this fun little introductory to Python. Now, the output does not seem right. Please comment one required line. Do not remove or add anything else. I did kind of remove and add a couple different things. So, oh. Let's start doing some There we go. Huh, you know, and I did this tutorial once before, and I didn't have any issues with this one. I probably shouldn't typed out so much fun stuff in the editor. But if you do ever have issues like this, in the bottom right, underneath my face here, oh, if I could select the right thing on OBS, you do have a reset content button right here in the bottom right. So if you ever want to, say your progress will be dropped, yes, and that reset this whole, oh, right. It was because I had added some stuff at the very, very top there. So the output, too many characters. Oh, cool, you're also learning Python. Heck yeah. Yeah, it's, man, the most confusing thing about learning Python going from any other coding language like C++ or JavaScript or like literally any of the other ones was the indentation and like the non-braces or brackets for code blocks and stuff. Like parentheses by the functions, all great, and then when it turns it, and then it's just all about spacing and indentation, and I was like, oh goodness. But that's just from somebody who got so used to having your code blocks inside a brace, looking for braces for my code blocks, not having compiler errors or interpreter errors because I didn't indent right. I added one too many spaces. Or like, for instance here, like I see now this test should pass as long as all we add. There's another thing about some of these. I remember failing some of these tests before because I added too much.